Well, hello anybody. Blender Pretender here. Playing with Blender and posting it online for fun. It's been a long time since I posted last. Yes, I'm still around. I just haven't found time to do the stuff that I like. But I'm going to take some time today. A little bit of time here to do something, a little bit of a recording. So, yeah, I haven't really posted. Right now, I'm going to be working on a graphic. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that up front so that people can choose to watch or not. But it's the same format as I used to do that, as I used to do before, which requires the minimal amount of editing, video editing on my part, which is just do essentially a live recording of a process to do a graphic here. I haven't found, a lot of uh, cool stuff. Let's say cool in the context of all the stuff that's going out there in terms of Blender to do. So that's why I haven't, felt compelled to do that. And it was this channel was like kind of like just my outlet. I told a friend once that this channel was basically microphone therapy for me because I used to basically just show up after work or sometimes, and to me it was kind of like my creative outlet, you could say, right? And so I felt like that, but it became more of just a Blender centric kind of thing. But really, what it became is just talking to the microphone. I was telling my friend, it's just talking to a microphone, and just having some sort of faith or some sort of just concept or belief that somebody on the other side is listening, right? So then I thought, it's like people go to the bar and they say they're bartenders, and the jokes on TV are that the bartender is the therapist, right? So to me, the microphone was a therapist, so you can just talk and talk about Blender. In this case, what I'm going to do is just a simple graphic. A friend of mine at work says to me, "Hey, funny how things work out too." Says, "Hey, you've done some shirt designs, haven't you?" And like, just out of nowhere, he comes and says, "Yeah, yeah, this was earlier today." And he says to me, "Yeah, I was wondering, I have a shirt design. Can you work on something like that for me?" And I haven't done that in a long time. That's the other thing, that I just haven't. And so, very, serendipitously, he comes to me at the time that where I'm kind of wanting to go more into that direction myself personally, but not saying this to anybody. So to me, it's just like, wow, I wonder why that all came out right now. What I'm doing right now is changing the camera to orthographic and changing the scales. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to proceed and do the work. The graphic, just so I can give an idea what it is, let me bring it in. I did a little prep here just to try to get it. It's a graphic. He comes to me and says, I have a shirt graphic to do and to be done. And, honestly, what I said to him is like, let's go to the store that does this. Let's sit down with them and you can get a price, for what it is and so on and so forth. And how you can get this done. Because he was really asking for my guidance to do it, right? And that's what we did. So we sat down. So let me bring in the image so you can see what it is. It's an image. I'm going to image as a plane. I'm not sure if I think not as a plane, but as a reference. I think image as reference. I want that because I want let me run Pretender. I usually try to curate what shows up on these screens. I'm laughing because I do try to limit what shows up on the screen. So this is the image right here. So let's go to 7 so we can see it. So this is like the logo or the emblem of his school. They're having a reunion or something like that, and he's Vietnamese, so I have no idea what it says. He says it's the name of the school, and he says here's a graphic, and I'm trying to get this on the shirts, and since you might know how to do this or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I've done some graphics for shirts and everything. So he went to the store and we looked at the prices. And so one of the things is that they'll charge him $50 an hour. 50, not $50, $50 an hour. So I'm hoping I can do this in an hour. $50 an hour to retrace this image. It's a JPEG, and you can tell. For example, if you zoom in here, you can see the aliasing that happens with the edges because it's a low resolution JPEG that he sent me over his phone. And the aliasing that's here and so on. So $50 an hour to trace it. I'm thinking, hey, you know what, buddy? Just send me the text. I'll do it for you. Send me a text with a picture, right? And I'll do it for you. I'll trace it. It seems simple enough. And so I'm just going to take the opportunity to do this. I mean, why not? Okay, so the thing that I can do here is I brought it in as a reference because the simple thing that I can do, and it might work, might not, is just to do a conversion into a grease pencil. So let me do a couple of these. I just started with a standard file. The reason I don't start with a grease pencil file when you do file new, and then you say grease pencil or 2D animation file, is because it puts the camera up in the front, and then I have to just do the work to shift it up to the top because I'm just, tracing something. I'm not really trying to do it like an animation where it incorporates, 2D and 3D or 2.5D or whatever. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go first off. One of the things is when you do that, the color management gets shifted to standard. So I'm going to do that already. I kind of, you might be able to tell, may not, because of the compression here on the, let me make this smaller, the compression on the video recordings. But I did a print on this to try to get it as square, because it's somewhat square, but not quite. So try to get it as clean as possible for the trace. And what I did is I kind of forgot to turn the filmic off, and so the white's not quite white, and the blue is not quite fully saturated. And that's just what happens when you do the filmic. So you have to make sure you do the standard transform change. All right. So what I'm going to do is try to do it as to change. Now it's going to be square. So let me take the camera first, or rather, let me go into the dimensions here. Let's start with something to start, just to. No, I shouldn't. Let me do it. Let me just set it up to begin with. So he shows up. It's we go and we get some prices and we show these images, and then of course the person there at the store says, hey, you know what? That's going to take some time for us to retrace it, and it's going to be $50 an hour. All right. Well, if I'm going to send him back a JPEG, let's say, or a PNG or something like that, I want to make sure that it's got the resolution to where this doesn't show up at whatever size he wants to print it. So he wants to get sure to have this. I think there's a small logo in the front, but he wants these 9x9, roughly 9 inches wide in the back. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it square here, and I'm just going to say 9 times 600, just so that when I do print, it's going to be 600 dpi in the actual render. I meant, not a print. If I do a render, the actual resolution is going to be 600 dpi. It should be enough for them to actually scale it around so that when they print, right? So let's go from there. So there's the camera. If I look to the camera, the image is a little bit big, and I already changed the image to 1, right? I can't zoom out anymore, so maybe I should just change the scale of the kind of to match, kind of like to match. And you can see it's not quite square. That's all right. I'm gonna eyeball this one. I could do some math to try to figure out where it is, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna eyeball it right here. Actually, since I have it here, maybe I can just go and make this right now into a grease pencil and start tracing, because I think that's the way to go, and that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I haven't saved the file, so save as. We'll put the name of the school there, right? Is it home? I don't know. Something like that. I think that's what it was. Or home with a U. Okay. Yeah, there you go. And some stuff. So let's just do it. I'm trying to remember where it is. I haven't used Blender for graphic stuff much. I use it for work a lot. It's mostly engineering based. So it's like CAD based, engineering based. And so I use it. I use it all day at work. Not all day, but every day and a lot of times. And then when I do find myself using it, then I end up even trying to support because I wrote a little add-on for what I do at work, trying to support the little things, little bugs or little things that come up for me in that. So it kind of takes me 100% away from my creative, artistic kind of outlet kind of stuff. And so it just doesn't give, you have to switch your brain when you get home and do stuff like that. So it doesn't give the opportunity for doing stuff like that. Let's do, I believe it's in this one. It's an image. I brought it in as a reference on purpose because I know it's object maybe here. And see, there's a convert and trace image to grease pencil. Here it is. I'm not even bothering with the collections to see where it's going to go. But let's say new object. It's got some default settings. Let me just go boop and see what it does. And so now I can turn off the image. I'm not showing this, but over here, now I can just, what it did is created this grease pencil object, and now I can turn off this image. So the grease pencil object now, if I were to go into the edit mode, on the grease pencil. Do I have it selected? Yes, I do. It did a very, very good trace, I think. But I do still have to go through there and sort. So I could just give it an image and say, and say that's a raster image. But if I do selections in vertices, you could see that some of these lines are not very good. And from here, I can tell that maybe the intention here was to put a curve up here, but it's not quite. And another thing that I'm noticing is it's not quite symmetrical. So if you look at this carefully, you'll notice that this distance over here is longer than this distance over here, right? And you can tell by this right here, that this circle and square, some of these corners are not very good. So for my taste, this kind of stuff here, I'd rather just model it in a mesh. And maybe even this stuff over here, this, what do you call it? This looks like a little house, right? It's a nice, good trace. I can work with this in the grease pencil, I think. But they have a stroke. So if you look at these objects, say if I go to selecting the strokes, select one, for example, I know that it has a stroke. And I have to go look at the materials over here. So it's got stroke and so the stroke would be the material here. So let's see, let's turn that off. And then it's got to hold that. Okay. So this material, so it has a stroke right there. Boop, turn it off. And then this one, it's on the holdout, so it also has a stroke. No, it does not. Does not have it anymore. Well, holdout because I didn't select it. There it is. Boop, turn it off. So that's closer to what we want, and then we just want to smooth these a little bit. We want to keep the square things on the back there, the square. This is good. This is good. It actually went bigger than the image itself. If I were to turn on the image, let's go back. Let's go over here, turn on the image, turn off the grease pencil. The image ended here, and it ended up making it a little bit bigger in terms of the conversion. If I were to use the annotation tool, let's get a color that does work over here in annotations. Let's do a new one. Let's make this one yellow so it stands out a lot against that blue. Stands out against the blue, but not quite the white, right? It's okay. We can change that. So let's go red or something. Really saturated. Yeah, let's just stick with red for now. All right, so let's turn it off. Turn it on. So there's a little bit of weird stuff happening, and I think it's got some sort of scaling. It looks to me like it's some sort of scaling on the Y. Let me see. Let me make sure that it doesn't have a scale on the item. No, it doesn't. It has a rotation. So let me go to the object mode and apply the rotation to begin with. Yep, I have the grease pencil selected. Rotation and scale. There it is. I don't know what I applied first. I went and applied, yeah, rotation. Don't know. Okay, so now in the object mode, I could probably just scale it and eyeball it. Something a little odd. Scale in the Y. Eyeball it back to where it should be, right around there. And now I could see that that's a little bit better. So it looks like it got scaled on the Y for some reason, and I don't know why. On the Y, and I don't know why. So, okay, there we go. So we got a good trace. We're just going to clean it up. I'm just going to clean it up. I mean, so the holdout, pretty much, I'm going to look at this. Let me go back to the cursor selection here. Look at the grease pencil, for example. All the holdout and the color really just overlap when you try to show the reference. See that? So there's a little conflicting stuff that's happening there. So let me take the empty reference and grab Z, bring it down just a tiny bit, minus 0.5. There is very obvious to us. But yeah, it seems to, and then we go look to the camera, this is what we're going to get. And of course, if you could choose the grease pencil, take that material and Let me turn it off. And then here, just sample that one. Okay. There we go. So, oh, I did it on the stroke. So maybe sample that one. And then that's what I needed to check there. So I have the grease pencil selected. I'm going to the draw mode. And so it's got one, but I'm going to check the use lights, turn it off. All right. I'm going to keep it as a hold down instead of doing white. That's fine for me. So I think the smoothing is going to, I'm going to apply the smoothing to these lines right here and up to here in the half of it. I don't have to continue all the way over here. And let's go back into the scope mode and make sure that we have a vertex selection there. And now we'll just do a little smoothing. And we'll make it match here. Let's just go to the top view, hide the count for now so we can see. Go back into the scope mode. What I'm trying to do is just select this one and then smooth it out. And so I'm deselecting all of these points all the way up to here, because the points themselves actually reflect the jaggedness of the aliasing that was happening. And then let me just smooth it out. And let the computer do its work. All the way over here. And yes, I have worn this pad thin. I put a cover over it. I started doing some digital before all the AI stuff hit the fan, right? I started getting into digital painting. I think I said it once before. I used to think that digital painting, because I wasn't really doing anything for production or whatever, right? For me, it's like painting was more of a thing that you did traditionally, right? And so I thought digital painting was the dumbest thing, because you're trying to get the computer to emulate what's already achievable, in the real world. And of course, because I've never been in the industry that does entertainment or anything like that, right? It was I was just blind to the fact that it cuts the step of doing a traditional and then scanning it in or copying or whatever. So at one point in time, when I was trying to see if I could get backgrounds and stuff like that for my quote unquote my animation that I was going to do, right? I said, you know what? I can see the value in being able to digital paint to get stuff faster, and so tried to learn that, and I learned it right at the time. Control Z that I did a selection. I'm going to go Control I plus I to invert it. Oh, but that inverts everything else. So let me deselect. Oh, I can't. Or if I do Shift Link Control Z, no, it works differently. It's my computers, by the way. If you hear noise, if you hear buzzing, it's my computers. My laptop, which I use to process the audio, I've updated it to Windows, whatever recent. I think it's Windows 11, right? And it just gets hotter. I don't know how it is with other people, but it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter than the previous operating system. So I don't know. I think it's my conspiracy theory. You can call it that, I guess. It's my theory that these softwares are always doing something in the background we have no idea what they're doing, right? And they, whenever it gets upgraded, like for example, the reason it's so hot is because it's probably, I don't know, it's probably crunching numbers, probably trying to mine Bitcoin. if it's still, if Bitcoin is still something, I guess. I'm having a little trouble here getting the circle select circle. There we go. I was just pushing the wrong key. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to smooth these. I'm not really going to worry about this because I want to mirror it. Mirror this one. So this is a holdout one, and it's got a connection somewhere. That's the other thing that, for example, I can't in grease pencil, even though you toggle cyclic, if you pick a point there and you go plus, you're gonna kind of come to a point where you're gonna realize where the start is or the end is. There it is. I see it over there. So between these 2 points, it's there's a gap. It's not seen there, but there's a gap. And when I do the smoothing, that gap is going to start pulling wider apart. It's just the way it works. Yeah, because if I keep pushing Control plus, it won't continue. It's continuing on the bottom, but it's probably not on the top. That means it came to its end right there. Do I want to mess with that? That's past the half point, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is erase this part and then duplicate it and then join it again once it's mirrored. Probably the best way to do it. So that's fine. Oh, rather, let's undo this. Yeah, see, now the computer's done mining Bitcoin or something. If Bitcoin is still relevant, I don't know. I think it is, right? Bitcoin is relevant. I'm not into that stuff. I am very ignorant when it comes to that stuff. Good. There we go. Scope mode, and now we're going to smooth. Yep, all the way. Just smooth it out as much as we can. Here. It's a guess, it's got to look somewhat close, but it's a guess. But just get rid of the aliasing. Oh wow, this is pushing it out that way. Nope, don't want that either. Did it do that over here? Yeah, it did kind of. I'm gonna grab. These are the little drawbacks with grease pencil. You just have to deal with it. I'm keeping all the points, by the way, because I'm going to be printing a 900 or whatever I put in there. And, if I'm going to do that, I don't want any of these corners to show up. And so what obviously happens with this design, whoever made it originally that generated that, they used one of the vector programs, and you can tell that they went a little jagged because probably, it's like they're using, little splines or little whatever, and when you're dealing with those, you have to deal basically on a point by point basis, kind of like, and you might get jagged edges. So smooth. The reason I'm keeping all these, otherwise I could have resampled this already, There we go. Smoother, smoother, smoother. I could have resampled this already and work with smaller amount of points, but why would I do a print in MDPI? So I can tell visibly here if I go into the, I don't know why it doesn't work. If I go into, it doesn't work there. But if I go into the edge selection here, I can see that it gets a little straight, and that's part of what the image that came by, right? So I'm gonna go grab and then just eyeball it so it looks smoother. That's probably what the person that did the original graphic did anyways. They eyeballed it. So that looks smoother to me. And it's going to be smooth up to the half point, and then I'm going to do a mirror. There we go. Where is the center of this? So I'm going to assume that the center object, the center is Shift Z, Shift C, Shift plus C. Make sure that that's the center That is the center, I think. Item, the item is at 0, 0. Okay. So, okay. That's the holdout one. In the edit mode. Oh, see, in edit mode, it does toggle 1 and 2. 1 and 2 do toggle that. So essentially, I'm going to take that point. I think if you take a point, there we go. Now we jumped all the way up there. No. Link, there we go. So it's all the way over here. But now I'm going to take this point. Control Z. Take it all the way back to here. I'm using the y-axis. Control X. Dissolve those. So now that holdout is at half-half, right? And if I look at the points individually, take that one. I wonder if I can move those. I can't. So I can't really move those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ever so slightly move them over and then have the mirror applied to this. And so this one, I think, get rid of the stroke altogether. So I don't have separate layers, and I don't want to get into that. I could, I suppose, have a separate. Let's do that. Let's make a new layer. I'm just going to call it mirror layer. I can't do it here, I think. Can I? Can I? No, I can't. No, I can't. It has to be over here. So I'm going to take that and move it to a mirror layer. Oh, mirror layers on top. So I'm going to put that one on the bottom then. So can I move that to the bottom? Yes, I can. And then I lose all that stuff. Okay, so I'm going to have to be more smarter about this. So I'm going to mirror that, and I'm going to mirror this one too. So that one's also going to be in the mirror layer. So never mind. Let me move it up to where it was. Edit mode and take that one. That's the stroke on there. Move it to mirror layer. So then I'm going to do the same thing there. Basically, square these up, clean these rounds, cut them in half, but I have to find the right half, right? The right half. Let me take that one, cursor to the selected. It's still off. It's off somewhat. And then I can tell that this distance is shorter than this distance a bit. It looks it, maybe not. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. But it's not. It doesn't look centered to me. In other words, this square and this circle in there. So what I'm going to do is trace this. So I'm going to go link. Let me take all of these. There we go. Grab in the X, shove it over here. I'm going to trace those in a mesh and put the mesh on top. Now this is in the holdout as well. Really, it should be in the by the graphic. It should, yeah, it's a holdout. It's the holdout, but then this is blue. Actually, this should be blue, right? Why is it assigned the holdout? Oh, I'm sorry. This is the holdout. It's on front. So then this should be in a layer that's in the front. So I'm going to call this layer house. I don't know. Why aren't you able to rename these here? Use lights. House. There we go. And that one move to house. And that one should have the holdout. This should have the blue mirror layer. That's a holdout. And then so there's another layer in front. So you got the trace in the back. I'm calling it mirror layer for that holdout. And then the house on top. So this blue part is in the Yeah, it is blue part, right? Yep, it's blue. This blue part is right in the middle, so it should be right there. So GP layer, but I'm calling it house frame. Just so that's the house and that's the house frame. Move it to the house frame. There we go. But we don't want it to use the lights. There we go. All right. So I'm going to mirror this one and this one. House frame, house, mirror layer. Okay. And there you go. I'm going to take the house and rename that mirror too. Just so that I know when I look those up, what else gets mirrored? So this one needs to go also to, and this one too, needs to go to the house frame layer. And then the text, I think what I'm going to do for the text, because I think it's easy, is to actually type in text that matches us best, because this D is just a D with a little dash on it, and this A is just an A with a square. So instead of tracing these, I'm going to use text that best matches it. One more, grab X, because if you do text with the holes and everything, you have to do a lot of layer separation in grease pencil, and I don't want to. Okay, so that's blue. Okay, all right, so we got this. This is mirroring. So now this little house thing, oh, it's also going to get mirrored. The only thing that doesn't get mirrored then is a square, and there's no reason why it can't. Okay. So the complexity is just sometimes stuff that you have to work through, but I think it's fine. The layers that I have now are fine to make it work. Why was I getting at? Is that I can add a modifier, and there's a mirror modifier here, I think. Here it is, and then I can choose on the layer, and I'm going to use I called it the mirror layer, right? So now that mirrors that, and I already did half of that work. I'm going to do the same thing for the house layer. I could probably do the same thing for everything, even the square, but then that adds. The square only has 2 points, it has these points. So where is the square? Okay, so the square is between these 2 points here, is where it actually connects. So I can take these. There's 2 points here. It looks like it. There's 2 points there. X points. Did it work? Yes. What I'm going to do is get rid of this then, because everything is being mirrored now. Okay. If I turn it off, I should be able to see the work on the right side with the image on the back, like I see right there. Whoops, I gotta make sure my audio stays. Another thing. I did the update and Windows 11 seems so much slower on this laptop. Yeah, I have no idea how to change this right now. So let me take a real quick moment here. I'll do a search for sleep. See if it comes up, and just power sleep settings. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh. Never and never and never. Never, never. Never, 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 never. I think it's still going on. Okay, yeah. If the computer goes to sleep, then the audio will fail. So I think I just changed it to never, never, never. Never, ever. So that the laptop, the computer stays on with the audio. It was about to go off. Okay, next is this guy right here. And then, so obviously he's off. what's the best way to get this to show? I think to trace, because I want to trace half of it, mirror it, but then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to work on this one. So just guessing is these points right here, right? These 2 points are the half points, and everything else goes to the, gets deleted, and then this stuff gets cleaned up over here. So let's clean these up. Scale Z, scale Y0. Gotta make sure you're doing the medium point. Now these to this. Scale X0. Cleans that up. Now let's take these. Oops, I'm grabbing the one on the bottom. I can always go and make sure that I'm only selecting one, but I'll just work around it for now. There you go. Scale Y0. See, it doesn't work with a grease pencil. You can't really do a control or an alt selection. Scale X0. What happened? One. See, I pushed the wrong button is what happened. Scale Y0. Oh, wrong one. Scale Y0. There we go. And then these up to that one. Scale X0. Let's turn on the vector active and rotate and scale. Oh no, they're not lined up. So it's eyeballed, so it's close enough. So this has to be just smoothed out. But before that, I'm gonna grab Y just so that it gets closer. Over here, scale Y0, enter. I'll do that one too. Scale X0, there we go. It's all a very close eyeball. And then from there, over to here, I'll do that one. Smooth. Let's go back to that so we can see where the vertices are moving. See how the vertices are migrating. So that smoothed it out a lot. So I'm going to grab, you lose some of the curve when you do that, right? So I'm just going to grab those and bring them back. There we go. Make that nice right there. All right. I would rather go, I went to edit mode is where I want to go. Okay, take that one and that one. Doesn't want to, right? All the way over here. Scale Y0. And then here, just grab X and move it to where it's smooth. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Let me take that one, Control plus. Oh, minus that one. And then these. Yep. Before I do that, then let me go to the annotation. Because I'm going to have to use the reference that I copied over right now. I'm going to have to use it just so I can get back, but now I'm going to go into scope mode and into smooth. You can see how I lose the curve there. A lot of it. It's okay. Grab. No, just bring him back. Erase that, or rather, go into the edit mode. This is easier just to move it in the edit mode. There we go. And this looks pretty like it worked pretty good. Nice and smooth, smoother at least than what it was. Beep beep beep. That works. That works. That works. Edit mode. I keep pushing the wrong buttons is what I'm doing. I'm so used to just doing mesh editing. X points. I seem to have lost something over here. X points. Yep. I don't know why I lose these points. It's connecting back over here. It's got to be having to do with where it's. There you go. That's the start right there. Okay, that's not a problem. What I'm going to do is take that, Control plus, points. Take that one, grab X, and is it snapping? No. I turn my snaps on, but it doesn't snap here. Doesn't want to snap. Nope. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is turn the mirror back on. Now it's actually mirrored, but what I'm seeing is that let me link, grab X. Let me get rid of just visually what that mirror's got happening there. Grab X. They're right on top of each other, just about. So this is more or less where we want it. Grab Y. So we can see that we need to move the other one a little bit. So take this one, link, and let's move it over, grab X, to where it should be in terms of the size. Right around there. So let me, oh, Control Z, that hides the layer. Forgot, link, there, oh, just one. Let's keep it down here, just for giggles in case. So now we got a cleaner. I'm going to do that one, so that's done. What I'm seeing here is an artifact from this guy probably. Yeah, probably, there you go, from this guy. There's that. Likewise over here. Grab X to really get it just barely past each other. Alright, good. So now we have this one cleaned up. This one is probably for a reference either. Grab Y, or rather link. Grab Y, put it up there. Wait, what is that versus this? No. I don't need it. I guess this one. So this is where it connects. This is where this connects, so I can just clean this up the way I've been going. So I already erased part of that. Medium point, scale, Y0. I'll choose that one, Control plus. Right there. There we go. Now let's smooth that. Smooth. Oh no, that one's going crazy. Why does it go so crazy? How come I can't grab? What's going on? Because it's on the other side. Nope. Turn that off. Maybe the grab just doesn't let you do it when you have the modifier on. How about that? I'm just gonna eyeball this. It doesn't go so crazy there. Right? Smooth. There's some points in here that I could probably lose. That's all right. I can actually get it right into the picture too. So I can see that I'm already off. Why is it off? Because it's probably because of the asymmetry. Yeah, I don't know why this keeps doing this. Control X. I'll just dissolve them. Wrong one. I think it's pretty much where I want it. I can still see a little bit of that there. I could probably do a resample too. There's the spline option. You can choose curves and make them splines. In grease pencil, I mean. That, at this point in time, that could probably be faster than what I'm doing right now. Just gotta be careful not to get so far to that edge. I already got it where I need it. Grab. I can barely see here. If I go here, that there's a little jaggedness right there. There we go. So now that looks a little cleaner in terms of this, the rate of change. Maybe a little bit right there. Okay, good. And now up here, go back to ones, to the onesies. Circle select, deselect these. Undo this. Okay. Smooth. This is going to be straightforward, I think. There we go. I know it probably takes the same amount of time, but for me, this is easier, or rather, it doesn't feel as bad as dealing with the splines. Dealing, you know, when you have the little, the Bezier curves, it just doesn't feel the same. Like when you're dealing with the Bezier curves, I just can't stand that. So just doing a smooth, let's say for example, smoothing this out a little bit right here. It's just, it probably is taking the same amount of time, if not probably more. But it just doesn't feel as much of a chore as it feels when you're just dealing with the Bezier curves. I don't know why. So let's go back to look at the edge there and see, because I can see a little bit right there. I gotta go grab a bit right there. I like the point already. It's kind of like pointed but a little bit rounded too, so that's fine. It's okay if it overlaps a little bit. I think it's gonna work with the mirror. I'll just work that in, and then this one, the edit mode, I'll just grab any. I think I already scaled these all to the. So if I look at it, I can see where some stuff has changed. I can move these in a little bit, I think. Grab X just a tiny bit. Because this one's off too in this direction, and I bet you it's because of the mirror things. Not quite. So for example, those, grab X. So they're close on this side, but over here now they deviate some. But now we're getting symmetry, right? So now there we go. What I can do in order to visualize this is just put a, no, it holds it out, right? So I don't think I'm going to see the background. If I go and set the background color, it won't show up here. I think if I change this one, who knows? Nope. It won't show up. That's background. Yeah, the holdout. It goes to whatever background I think is. Let me see if that's what. There it is. Okay, you need to go into the render view. There you go, render view. All right. And I can always turn off here to see where we are. So I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Not quite this right here. Turn this back on. Take that one. Scope mode. And then this is what I was saying. Go grab. Just. Oh, it's moving. It's moving both. Okay, never mind. Control Z. So it's gonna move both as I grab them. So what I need, annotate and just give myself a pointer there. Turn it off and then grab. give myself a goal. Boop. Sticks out a little bit right there. So what I can do, go to the edit mode, select that and go Control plus all the way to there. Control X, dissolve. Turn back on, now it's unnoticeable. Alright. Where it is noticeable is here. Did I smooth this one out? No, it's kind of unnoticeable. Kind of noticeable. There we go. I think it was, so it's kind of jagged a little bit, so I'm gonna keep it, really, for my taste it should be round, but I mean, go figure, you know, you got a point over here, who knows? Who knows? Who knows if this is just sloppy drawing or if it's purposefully has to be like that. If it has to be like that, I could trace that too, but I'm going to check it with my friend first. So let me see. I've got that. I've got that. Now I got to do this over here. The mirror is happening there as well. So what I'm going to do is, well, I can probably just work with it right here. Grab X. So they kind of converge. But we can see that it's different thicknesses on one side versus the other. I think that's just sloppy drawing, if you ask me. And then there's this. Okay, so let's fix that real quick. Let me see. I'm going to duplicate in the Y, just so I can keep it over here. And then take that one, turn off the mirror, so that I can just erase a few. There's a joint somewhere. I just don't know where it is. That's all Control plus. This takes a little while just to wait. And then just to see where it goes. Okay, I think I found it. It's over here, which is fine, because I'll just erase points up to this one and this one. All the way down here. X. Points. There we go. So now this should be working out just fine. This should really be a straight line. So for example, between here and here, plus all the way over there, Control X, dissolve. So let's do some more here. Control X, dissolve. All right. There we go. That way there's no smoothing or anything needs to be done there. There we go. Just get rid of that one point when I do this. Scope mode, smooth. There we go, so I can see the points as they migrate. I'll erase those, doesn't matter. I'll get close. Close but no cigar. There we go. There we go. Okay, good. Nice and smooth. Oh, is it really already? I'm gonna reset that. That's an hour right now, so I'm very close to being done, so I'm just gonna push it on through. Let me go to the grab. All right. What I'm going to do is take that up to about here. Control X, dissolve. right around there. Grab X right around there. Okay. There we go. Let's take. I always do this. I should really have taken time to set up my layers. Let's go to scope mode. Select these. Scale Y0. Enter. So now if I turn on the mirror, so now there's the cleanup of these. This seems a little crooked right here, so let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it is crooked, a little crooked. So let's do this. For this one, that'll be the easiest way would be this also being mirrored, right? Since I already committed to doing everything mirrored, this is going to be a little bit more work then. So do the same thing here. X dissolve. X dissolve. Control X and dissolve. And then this is where they start. Okay, see that? So this is where it starts. Maybe I should dedicate over here the time and effort to this side then instead. So let's do that instead. There. One more. And now we're gonna get rid of these points. There we go. So basically take those two, scale Y0, enter, Shift R, scale X 0, enter, and then the difference is this is angled and this one's not. So I'm gonna guess that, again, it's sloppy stuff and it should be Shift R, fix that, grab X, bring it over here, grab X, all right, turn on the mirror, and what are we seeing? We're seeing something that I shouldn't be seeing. Something's up. Something's up. In the layers. Well, you know what I can do? Shift C. I can link and see if maybe being on one side or the other is what's making this work or not. So I gotta make this sure this one comes over, but I'm gonna go based off of the 3D cursor, Control M, X. There we go. Turn it back on. Now it seems to work. And even this bottom one seems to work even though there. X points. Scope mode. Link. Turn that off. Back on. And there, I can't tell anymore. There you go. Okay, so that's good. So I think that cleans up that pretty good. I think we got it. And just to make sure that it extends upward. Nah, I think we're good. We eyeballed it. That's fine. We're good. What I was gonna say, I don't want any blue to show up, so maybe I should link. So I'm gonna scale in the Y. just so that there's no white showing here when I do the render. And let me see what else. So now I got to do this, and then the so let me save that. Let me go back into the object mode, do what I always do, which is take that object, duplicate it, and move it to a new collection called MISC, and then turn it off. Make sure it doesn't render and turn it off. Why am I doing that? Because right now what I'm going to do is select all the ones that I want, link, and control invert. No, don't invert all of them. I want to keep these. X strokes. Okay, so now we're going to trace this, but we're going to do it with grease pencil, mesh, with mesh modeling to get it close, and then text, and so on and so forth. Let's go to the object mode, put this here, mesh a plane, tab, scale it down to where we can get it close. Object mode, and then just grab and eyeball it, because that's really what, it's not even square. I think it's intended to be square. So scale, I have to make a guess. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a guess. Use that as a basis and make a guess. Okay, that's good. Cursor to selected. Let me rotation and scale. Go in here. What I need is these two. I'm gonna put them on top. So maybe just shift duplicate in the Z face. Oh, the same thing over here. I have my snaps on. Shift duplicate Z and snap to that. Make a face there as well. All right, I think that's good. For these lines that are coming through, let's just call that good. And then let's take this one, control link, inset it, eyeball it right around there. Okay, that's good. How am I gonna work these other ones on top? So I can do is, I was thinking about just take, I'll do that right now, why not? P selection, take that one, take them, extrude them in the Z tiny bit, and then just add a solidify modifier. From the top, make sure the solidify is at the center, and then just work it to what kind of looks right. There we go. And now take those and scale them in to where they overlap. They're going to be the same color, so it doesn't matter. So that was 0.942. The same thing. So what we're going to get is kind of weird stuff, right? So let's clean that up now. I think the face inside can go out, away. X, face, and then a circle. Let's give it 128. Get it nice and smooth, and then just eyeball it where it's the best kind of possible, and then E, scale, and then just make it barely touch the other one. I think the other two should probably be scaled down, so I'm going to take these. Okay, so I'm in orthographic, and for whatever reason, these. Oh, I only scaled. Okay, I got it. I only scaled on these. Scale. It's going off the cursor, so I gotta go up to medium point. Scale 0.942 or something like that. That's what it was, I think. There. So now we have the crosses. How come these didn't? They did not. Oh, it did not extrude. I didn't notice that. E, scale, right to where it should be, more or less eyeball there. There we go. And then that one needs a material. Yeah, that's an emission. That is this one right here. And then control link material. Why didn't it do it? There and there, control link materials. Come on. What's going on? Oh, because this is because I'm choosing the grease pencil, that's why. Beep. Turn that off. So there's a little thing that goes in the middle. Turn the grease pencil back on. And so what I need to do is get it. So basically, I'll take this one. Just make sure that we're choosing the right one, the plane. So maybe I'll just lift the plane, grab Z to about there. Control P, object 7, take the plane. And then center it on the X. There. I think I got everything. It looks a little thin. Compared to this one, it's going to look a little thin, so I'm going to have to thicken these up. Not the X's. And then the X's don't go all the way. That's the thing I just noticed. Okay. Good to know. So they look a little thin. I'm going to have to eyeball them. Make sure that these... So if you look at these, this is thin, but this is thicker. And this is about as thick as this. It should be, so it already is. So this is... eyeballing it like that. Scale. I'm off the medium point. Yes, I am. Scale. There we go. And then here, I'm going to go Control R. And then Control B. Control B. And put it right there. Control R. Control B. Right there. X. Face. 7. Now it looks nicer. I was missing a big old X. Okay. These run a little bit more. Makes it look beefier. They barely touch over here. I think the intention is that they barely touch. All right. So now it's in the way where it should be here in the center. Now it's the text. I'm still in edit mode. Object mode. Shift add text. Text. Let's go to the text. Make sure it's center. Metal scale. And let's just try. I think that's either a Helvetica or the Arial. So let's just choose for that. The font. Let's see. Can you search? I think you can. every time I tried to search, it doesn't really. Is it Helvetic or Helvetic? I don't know. Not found it. So I know it's not going to be this one. We can try. So I don't think it opened it. Nope, it's not that one. So let's go for the regular aerial. That looks closer, but not quite. Look at the D and look at the G, of course. I really don't want to trace those, but sometimes you have to, right? I don't know enough about fonts to know which one's going to be good. I mean, that look like I only know about the Helvetica because many years ago when I took some architecture courses, it's the one we use most for every one of the presentation boards that we ever prepared. Oh, there it is. There it is. What is it called again? Franklin something or another. But there it is. Scale. Yep. Grab X. So yeah, that G kind of scale Y. Grab Y. Okay, they're not quite on top of each other. I can work with that though. For example, if I do some scaling on the X, just simple scale on the X, what I can do is just try to do a double space here. No, that didn't work. Control Z, duplicate on the Y, and then grab X, get it really close. Grab Y. Let me see if I can snap to the center of that. No, I can't. I couldn't. There it is. Grab Y. It doesn't want to snap to it. I'll fix that. I want to get them because they're in the same level. That's why I want to get them to this. So I'm going to choose that one. On the Y, it's that. Control copy. Control V. Grab X. And that way I don't deviate that much. So I could probably that's good. But this one seems to get more apart, farther apart, right? So first I have to make sure I have the same scaling on the X, which is slightly different. Control copy. Control V, enter. That's good. And then for this one, character spacing. Is there line character spacing? Here it is. Let's just eyeball it and get it close. Close. There we go. Close, but no cigar. All right. So now for that, I'm just going to add a little mesh right here. A plane. Scale it down. Make sure that it meets that. And then maybe I could use the same mesh will be for all of these. Put this one over here, around there, scale Y. There we go. And link. This is just a circle with some lines, so now you just let's put it right there. I'm still in the edit mode, right? Shift add, circle. 120 is too much for this, so I'm gonna go 32. Control Z. I think I went. Where am I? Okay, I went too far. A circle. What happens is that you hit one of the scales when you're doing that inadvertently, and then it goes crazy. It's either a huge circle or a very tiny one that you just can't except grab. So don't worry about it. So it's got little. So this is actually an apostrophe or a comma or something like that, right? I wonder if I can just get a comma and shove it up there. Let's try that. Let's get a comma going. Nope, not that. Let's get an apostrophe going. Nope, not that either. Escape. So Control Z. Delete it. So yeah, I'm gonna basically have to draw. So I'm gonna go into vertices, duplicate it here, and then just go. Make that into a little something. Q wireframe. And then here I'm going to go to grab, make sure the fall off is projected. Probably should have put more points in there. So let me go W subdivide. There we go. I'm using scope mode on this. But I did something wrong already. Okay, I did something. I screwed up somewhere. Where did I screw up? Because I was seeing. Oh, okay, I see. I went to the blue. Oh, that's interesting. A little artifact or something. And you can't really smooth this, okay? That's weird. A little weird there. A little on the weird side. Let's redo this again. Just to make sure that we have it. I can digitize this a lot smoother by just doing it by hand, I think. And it won't be noticeable. There it is. Okay, so where is that in terms of everything? I'm gonna take this, where's, no, I want my letters, there you go. They're close. Control P, object, take the letters, and grab X. Oh, I parented to these, this to this. That means I gotta take these letters and parent them to these letters. Control P. There we go. Grab X. Grab Z. Put them on top. And then wait. Because orthographic. Maybe, oh, I let the perspective mess with me. Maybe I wasn't looking at the perspective. Grab X. That seems to be where it should be, where it wants to be. This is not. Then mess with the character spacing on that one. This is the image. The reason also this is the image, this is the trace. Maybe that's what threw me off. So character spacing. Tiny bit in. There we go. Link, grab X. Put it right around there. There we go. And then this one, maybe just a tiny bit. Back. There we go. Link, grab X. Link, let me turn that off. There we go. All right, I think I got it. So now what I need is for all of these to have the material that's blue. Nope, that one, that one, that one. Got it. Material, new one, blue. Now why doesn't it look blue? All of these, because I assigned it only to one. Okay. Control link materials. So let's turn that off. I can see a little artifact here. That's in the grease pencil object. Because I turned everything off also. So turn it back on. I think what we're seeing here, there it is. Beep. Make sure they pass. There we go. Yeah, I believe this now we can put a date or something if they want that, but this is now it's going to be able to print already. Make sure everything that should print does print. Now that's what I got to do is just make sure everything that should render right. So text, I got plain. I need that to render. I think everything's what. So I'm not going to render the reference, the empty. So I think it's ready to go. So if I do a render, I think it's done. Home. There, we can see it. Nice. I digitize this, but you can't tell. Okay. I'm looking for the places where you would have an overlap, a little bit of an overlap. I see it right here and right here a little bit. Everything else looks nice to me. The angles on this, I'm going to assume that maybe that works. For my taste, I would have it nice and smooth and round. Maybe I can do that. Why not? Let's go scope mode. Turn everything back on. There we go. Get rid of these. Yep, I'm in the grab. And why is it not doing it? I see a little bit of an artifact here. I'm not sure what that is. So long as it doesn't render. Who cares? Oh, that's why. Laying the perspective, mess with me. Orthographic. Gotta be careful not to get in here because I switched it to the stroke. So saying this one. All right, that works. Now this one. That kind of works. All right. Okay, so much for my microphone therapy for today. I think that it's going to cover another year. No, I'm just joking. Let me do the render again. My microphone therapy will hold me off for some time now, but actually, I'm going to be dedicating more time to doing, doing other stuff that's, in terms of the creative stuff. This Blender Pretender channel started with me just trying to test Blender 2.8. That's what it was doing at the time. I was doing at the time. I just wanted to just be part of the, the people that are playing with Blender 2.8. And then obviously I thought a little bit of as a creative outlet, but I was then just really just not really no real sense of direction of trying to put anything that's artistic out there with a theme, let's say, or whatever. So I know that that's kind of lacking in what I did at the time. I'm rambling on because I'm going to call it quits at this point in time. I have it here. So it's already rendered. It's cleaned up. It's symmetrical now. It's got all the stuff, and I can add more stuff to it. I'm going to show it to my friend tomorrow. But the reason I'm rambling on about this is because I did open up another channel in which I'm going to try to use that as a creative outlet, but not just for me. It's also going to be a not creative outlet for my daughter as well. So she's going to contribute to the channel as well as me. And I might as well share it right now for people that stuck around. This might be for the very, very hardcore people that are watching this all the way to the end, because it's already an hour and a half or more, I think. Yeah, into this. But yeah, I have another channel. Let me see if I can bring it up. Let me sign into another one. So I'm going to have to sign in over here. Let me make sure that I close everything that's going to show here. It goes to this. How do I sign in? It goes to what I'm already. I guess I better sign out, or I'm trying to switch an account. Let me sign out of this one and altogether. And then sign in. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, no, I didn't prepare for this. I wasn't really thinking about doing this. That's why. But I have to, since I talked about it now in this live recording, I have to kind of go through with it, right? Let me see. Did I stop anything? Did I miss anything? Because I just hit the desk. Let's see if that works. That did work. Okay. Okay, all right, that did work. Let me see if I can drag it into view. I can. Come on. Come on. I think it's ready to go to video. There we go. There it is. So I opened up another channel just to finish, right? I called it Off Contact Designs, right? At Off Contact Designs is, let me see if this can be made bigger. At Off Contact Designs. Right now I've only posted 2 videos, very simple videos. Can we replay this one? This one is just, you know, it just done with Blender, of course. I'm going to be using Blender. My daughter's going to be using other software, the software that she's familiar with, and then also some Blender. But she's going to contribute to this as far as I already have this one video to put in the intros and another video where I do just time lapse. I only bring it up because that's where, if anybody's interested, this actually, still a subscriber and listening, and this is where I think I'm going to be putting some more work, really, because it's tied also. The intention of this is to actually create the designs, print them, and have them available for sale on my website. So that's the intention for that, and my daughter's going to be doing that as well. So that's going to be her thing for the short future. We'll see how it goes. But I'm letting you guys know that I'll be working on this stuff, and also on the Blender Pretender. I mean, I'm not abandoning the channel. I like it. It's just that it's hard to find time, and it's hard to also be inspired personally. I mean, this part of microphone therapy, right? Personally, for me, it's hard to be inspired the way that some of the stuff with the AI and everything has come out. And then also, because I don't have that shift that you have to go, to get into the mode of actually trying to do stuff or get excited to do stuff when you're really working with more technical stuff at work. It's hard to do that shift when you get off of work. But anyway, all that to say, this is going to be a channel where I'm going to be posting some stuff. My daughter as well. Let me get it out of the way. With that said, I'm going to finish up with just showing the end result of the trace. It took an hour and a half. So it would have cost my friend, $75 if I were to do it at that price. Obviously, I'm not charging him, but it would have cost him that. If I'm thinking that perhaps with Illustrator, you could get a little bit faster now with the splines and everything. Trying to do the trace through the vector recognition. I think it's sometimes that, to me, it's like if it's simple enough, maybe it's worth it. If it's something that requires a lot of cleanup, then it's just better to start tracing away to begin with. Well, that's my thoughts, my contribution, and hopefully I can post some more and get more on this. But on the other channel, by the way, I'm not planning to talk at all. Plan to just do time lapses, plan to have it as a creative outlet, and actually just every time I post, it should be a finished work product, either mine or my daughter's. So the talking, like I said, is just microphone therapy, and then just talking, believing, or just making yourself believe that somebody's on the other end and actually listening, and finds value in what is being said. So who knows? But if they are, so be it. If they're not, same thing. Thank you for watching. This is it. This is the finished product. This is what I'm going to send this high resolution now JPEG. I'm going to send it back to my friend and say, here you go. And he can take it from there. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching once again, and goodbye.